Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Buzzing with Barça podcast. I'm Marco. I'm your host. And with me, we have Ethan and Sagnik. Ethan, how are you?
I'm good, yeah. Excited to talk about today's topics. There's quite a lot of things to talk about. So, yeah, looking forward.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of topics to cover. We took a little break, and now we're back to action. How are you,
Yeah,
Sagnik?
fine. Feels great to be outside the international break. It's over, and now we're back in action.
Yeah, great. Okay, so we will head over to the first topic. We will talk about the loss against Atletico Madrid. As we all know, last Saturday we were back from the international break, and we lost away at the Wanda Metropolitano against Atletico Madrid. We lost 1-0 with a goal by mistakes of Ter Stegen and the defense. Ethan, what did you think about the game?
I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting Barça to win. Each game I expect Barcelona to win, but they keep on letting me down, unfortunately. I was going into this game because I know that Atleti are strong, but for some reason I just thought we had that little bit of an edge because obviously Suarez, a major miss for them because he was out with COVID. But again, as soon as I saw the first half, I was like, okay, we're going to lose this match. Total disorganization in the defense, which is not the first time we've seen. Like, for example, yes, Ter Stegen was to blame for the first goal, but that was again a mistake by Pique. He couldn't control the ball, gave it to the opposition, and then they capitalized. I don't know, I just saw a very disconnected Barcelona. Messi, he looked for me in that match very demotivated. Every time he got the ball, he didn't really do anything with it. He didn't even, he dropped way too deep, and he wouldn't really progress the game. But yeah, I just thought Atletico are a far superior team. Now with all the injuries as well that we've got to the team, it's been a major hit. And yeah, I was quite disappointed in that match.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that we saw how, we always talk about the defensive problems of this team, but I think we have a structural problem in our attack too. We don't get as many chances as we used to be. Leo Messi got touched the ball, got passes from the other players only 8 times in this match. You don't see it. You don't see Messi. I don't know if it's his morale or actually the fact that no one passed him the ball, but you don't see Messi get the ball such few times. And I think that we have a problem with this formation, this structure, and Koeman must find solutions. What do you think about the current situation, Sagnik?
Yeah, the match was disappointing. Most people thought that Barca had the edge, but here we are. Of course, the goal was basically a miscalculation, both by Pique and Ter Stegen. They're already making memes out of it because it was real comical. But to us fans, it was very saddening, obviously. But what I would like to say is Atletico's defense is a good one. We all know that it's a good one, but still, we expected a lot better quality of attacks. And Griezmann also missed a goal, but at this point, we're just used to that. But yes, the match was very disappointing. It was almost painful to watch. So about Messi and everything, of course, I agree with both of you. But let's see what happens in the future. This match was out of the blue, unexpected. So I've really not much to say about it.
Yeah, I have to say something that I already wrote in my post-match article. I think that losing in the Wanda Metropolitano is normal. It's okay to lose against Atletico Madrid. They didn't lose at home since we won there in 2019. A year ago. So it's they basically went through the whole league without losing at home, and it's okay to lose against them at the Wanda Metropolitano. But my problem was with the way we looked. We looked a little bit lost in this match, and this was what was alarming to me personally. What do you think about it, Ethan?
Yeah, I don't know, complete all over the place, as you say. The attack, no chemistry between the four in attack. A few, as you said, you brought up the statistic of Messi, only passing it 8 times to any other players in an attack. It was pretty over the place. I think in the end we saw, again, Coutinho, I think he was playing as a double pivot. Again, totally out of position. I don't know what on earth Koeman is thinking there. He did the same, I think, in another match. I can't remember off the top of my head, but as I said, it was a disjointed attack, and the defense was, God, it was awful. It was so easy to slice that defense open. They made they left so much play, and they left their opponents so open. So I just think we really need to improve majorly on the defense, but on the attack we need to.
And we hit the buzzer. We'll move along to the next topic. We didn't talk about it in the first one, but the main issue, the main problem of this game against Atletico Madrid was the injuries, and the more severe one is the one of Gerard Pique, and he will miss, I think, the rest of the season, or at least 4 months. So we're about to lose him for a long time. He's in a personal note, his injury looked very bad. I was sad for him, but Pique is not a solution for our center-back position, and we need to think now, who will we use? I see Mingueza playing against Dynamo Kyiv, but in the long term, we will have Araujo, we will have Mingueza, we will have De Jong as the other center-back option, although it's not the best one, and we will have also maybe the solution of buying Eric Garcia in the January, though it will be hard, and our financial problems right now might ruin this plan. So Sagnik, what do you think about Pique?
You basically covered all the points there are. Of course, we knew it was risky because we lacked quality center backs in number. So, of course, with Pique out for such a long time, we need to see what we can do as a concrete option. Like the Marquinhos, he's good, and the Barça B coaches have... Mingueza. What am I saying? Mingueza. His coaches have advised Koeman to use him. He is promising, but we won't know. His matches are good at Barça B, but how he performs in the big leagues remains to be seen. Now, with Frankie as centre back, last time it wasn't that remarkable. We could do with it, but it wasn't that remarkable. So I don't rely on that as a long-term option, especially with our position in the UCL. I don't think that we could sacrifice the amount of money required for Eric Garcia, especially with the pay cuts and everything under consideration, and Messi pretty much refusing to accept it. So I think that all we can do right now is expect Mingueza to perform well. And right now Koeman has said that Araujo is training by himself. He doesn't want to risk it. So maybe in 1 or 2 weeks, or maybe in a month, he should be fit and ready to play.
Yeah,
Ethan.
I'm just remembering a podcast that me, I think, Rishav and you had, Marco, a couple of weeks ago, and we just spoke about the dangers of just having 2 centre-backs, and now what our fears have been confirmed. Like, we are basically, as Sagnik said, we're going to have to rely now on Mingueza, who is a Barça B player, and he's not that experienced, so we're going to have to put the full trust in him, even though he's quite young and he's not experienced. And we're going to have to rely on Araujo, who's currently just out of injury now, and who knows, he could come out and get injured again. But this was the problem with not getting the centre-back that we needed in summer, and now we're facing the consequences, and it's going to be tough to see how we'll be affected. It's worrying because we know that Lenglet could get injured, because now if Lenglet gets injured, we virtually have no centre-backs. We need to go to Barça B, and that's playing very, very risky because, as Sagnik said, yes, they're good, but against big teams, they're so inexperienced and so young that, of course, they might panic, or they might not have that experience needed to win games, and that is gonna, I think, affect us. And as you said, in January, yes, we had the opportunity to sign Garcia, but with everything, the COVID pandemic, the wage cuts, the fact that we're nearly on the verge of bankruptcy, it's going to be very hard unless we don't sell to actually fund or get a new defender. We might have to do a Braithwaite style transfer where that La Liga would allow us to maybe get a cheap alternative from another team, but it's happened twice in a year, meaning just highlighting the decay and everything that's happening within the club, because this has never ever been seen before, and it's very worrying.
Yeah, I agree. Let me just add that as for Oscar Mingueza, I mean, the guy, I look at him for years. I mean, he was part of the Youth League champions team like few years ago, along with players like Carlos Perez and Riqui Puig and Collado, of course. He's a good player. He's a very talented center back. He is also he can also play as a right back and left back, which is a very good thing. But we'll move along now to the next topic, which is Sergi Roberto, who is out. His injury seemed a little bit easy at first, but now they are saying that he tore his rectus femoris at his quadriceps, and now he's about to become he's about to be out for the next 2 months, which is also adds up to the fact that Oscar Mingueza can play as the right back. So I guess this is why he's the preferred player from Barça B at the squad. So Sergi is out. Are we seeing Serginho this time?
Yeah.
Ethan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Dest now will be the undisputed starter. I think he'll play most matches. But as you said, I think they're going to have Mingueza there just as like a backup, just in case like Dest gets injured, because you don't know about the tough schedule can injure literally any player. But like, this was like a mixed reaction I saw on social media, especially on like Twitter. Yes, like obviously Sergi Roberto, he's not liked by many fans. Many fans don't see him as an ideal right back because he's more better in his midfield position. But the amount of people I saw like celebrating his injury, like I don't like Sergi Roberto. I don't really see him as like an ideal right back and one that can win us like trophies. But I didn't celebrate his injury either. I don't think that's the right. I don't think you should celebrate any player's injury, even if you hate them and you want them out the team, because that's not a good thing. But like for many people, they've seen this as a good thing, because they now see that finally Dest can be given time to start, and eventually they think that within 2 months, because I think Roberto's out 2 months, Dest will be like the ideal starter. That like when Sergi Roberto comes back, I don't think he'll have a place in the team anymore. And I think many fans are happy about that, and I disagree with that. I don't think I'm happy for Dest to start, but I don't think that we should be celebrating Sergi Roberto's injury either.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. Dest's signing was very fortunate for us. It was a good decision by the Barca team. And also, of course, like Ethan said, we shouldn't celebrate any player getting injured, even if it's a Madrid player. Like, players are players. You need to respect the game and the people who put their lives into this game. They get up every day, train because they love football. That's the end of it. They're all footballers. It doesn't matter if Roberto is, I won't say he's a bad player, but if he's a bit mismatched in the club, you should not celebrate Roberto's getting injured, especially because he had a key role in our historic victory over PSG in the second leg. He has contributed to the club and he deserves respect. Every footballer does, but Roberto especially. But I think that his injury won't affect the club that much in a negative way, because we got it covered with Dest. So obviously I'll wish speedy recovery to him like I do to any player, but I think we got it covered.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it always bothers me to see the amount of disrespects that players all over the world get sometimes. I mean, Sergi Roberto is a Barca player, and I also saw those Barca fans, so-called fans, that celebrate the fact that he is injured. I mean, he is a human being, and I mean, I will not celebrate any Madrid player getting injured, even players that I don't like Casemiro and Ramos. I will not celebrate them getting injured ever. So of course I will not celebrate Sergio Roberto getting injured. He is a player that I don't think that he is that bad as some fans make him, but I don't see him as the best right back that we have. He's far from that, and I think that him as our first right back looks like one of the main problems that we have in our squad. And I really celebrated it when we signed Serginho Dest, who is only 20 years old. He's very young, but he has the talent, he has the ambition, and I think that over time he will become the first solution for our right back position. And I see it as a good thing that he will get a lot of playing time. If he will get injured, we will have another problem, and I think that Oscar Mingueza is the only other option there, because in Barça B also they don't have right backs. I mean, the two right backs of Barça B are currently injured for a long time, and right now Barça. We will move along to the next topic, the left wing problem. Right now, when Ansu Fati is injured, the main players that can play in the left wing are Dembele, who is better at the right, and Coutinho and Pedri, who are not natural wingers. So right now, we don't really have someone who can play actually as the left winger, and for me, it's hard for me to choose between the options that we do have. So I would like to convince me. So we will start with Sagnik. Tell me, what do you think?
So Dembele on the right wing is a literal beast. Even last match, he was probably our best player on the pitch. So I would understand if Koeman doesn't want to disturb his position. Another thing that I want to point out is that we did not attack much from the left wing last match. So the real assessment of how good Pedri is isn't really, in my opinion, isn't really fulfilled yet. He's 17 years old, and I think that with Koeman's stubbornness, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he continues with the current formation with Pedri on the left wing. So obviously there's an alternative option that Dembele plays on the left and Trincao plays on the right full time. But I don't think that is going to happen just because Koeman is stubborn and how good Dembele is on the right wing. But another thing, if we consider Coutinho, I don't think he should be played on the left wing, and I don't think he will be either. He's more of an attacking midfielder, obviously. So I think that given all the above facts, that Pedri as the left, we'll see Pedri as the left winger in the following matches.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Pedri will still be played on the left, which I personally wouldn't want. Like last match, I put on my lineup and loads of people told me, oh no, it's best for Pedri to go left wing because then he can have Alba back him up. But obviously, this was the problem we saw against Atletico Madrid. If you put Pedri on the left wing, he is not a winger. He will cut to the centre. You saw it. He was virtually non-existent in the match, not because of how good he is, because Pedri's an amazing player. But if you put him on the left wing, you're not going to get anything out of him. And some people were like to me, yeah, it's true now. We shouldn't really play Pedri on the left wing. But I think Koeman, like Sagnik said, will still use him. I'd personally start Trincao on the right wing and put Dembele on the left wing. Yes, I know that's not his strongest position, and he's far better on the right wing. However, Dembele is the only player out of those four that has played left wing and has actually not been that bad on left wing, because obviously Coutinho was bad on the left wing in under Valverde, that he had to be loaned out to Bayern Munich. I don't think Conrad will play because he's very inexperienced and Koeman wouldn't start him in these type of matches. Pedri, as we've seen in the last couple of matches, if he's used in that left wing position, yes, he played there under Las Palmas, but against the big teams, he doesn't really perform that great. And Dembele, yes, it's his weaker position, but he has played on the left wing before. He has scored goals and he's done good matches on the left wing, even though he's better on the right wing. So I would personally start with bilbao on the right and Dembele on the left. And obviously, when Ansu Fati returns, then we can switch Dembele back. But that's how I basically see it. I think we definitely have a problem because none of those four can actually solve this issue. But again, that comes down due to lack of depth that we have. People are calling for Depay to come now because of this situation. I think that's completely the wrong decision. But yeah, I think we're going to have to start rotating players more and having to make sacrifices because that's really the only option we have.
Yeah, exactly. And with Jordi Alba struggling a little bit with his offensive capabilities, I think if Dembele and Alba work on a chemistry together, we could see a lot more strings of passes and a lot more balls into the center with different kinds of combinations.
Yeah, I agree. Just one thing, I wouldn't be surprised if Koeman will actually use Konrad against Dynamo Kyiv, at least as a substitute. And just one thing that I would like to point out, the wide players in Koeman's Barça are not really wingers. They are more like, Sagnik said it, they are more like attacking midfielders in both wings. They are playing a little bit behind the wing position because of the formation of the 4-2-3-1, but I still don't. And we hit the buzzer. Moving on to the next topic, the salary problems, the wage problems. As Tebas, the chairman of the RFF, said this week, Barça are far above the salary cap of the La Liga, and they might, if drastic measures won't happen soon, we might head into bankruptcy. It might even be the biggest mission of the next board, the next president. So right now, the players don't really think that the current transition board, this Carlos Busquets, he has the mandate to do these negotiations. And right now, it seems like we're heading into a dead end at least until the elections. So what do you think about the current situation?
I think definitely for the next president coming in, I think he's going to have a humongous task. That's why I think that we need to wait a little while before Barcelona can actually be the Barcelona they once were. I don't think with any president, the project would work in 1 or 2 years. It's going to take time because of how bad the state of the club is. In all my 20 years of life and all my supporting of Barça, I've never seen Barça this bad. I know Barcelona have been bad before in terms of like financial structure, but the fact that we're on the verge of bankruptcy is like complete whole other level. Bartomeu really did us. In terms of the salary cuts, they definitely don't see Busquets as incompetent. And if I were Busquets, frankly, I'd call the elections immediately. I don't know why he's waiting for 24th of January. Yes, maybe it's because of the COVID pandemic. But again, if you implement something like electronic voting, that won't be an issue because people would vote from home and they wouldn't have to go out and endanger themselves. So if I was him, I think the club is in economic, institutional, and now sporting crisis because of all the injuries that we have. So I think what's the best thing to do is to get a newborn in as soon as possible. I'd have it mid-December, the elections. Speak to the players, get an agreement, and then you can start building up and sorting out the issues then. Because obviously now, if we just delay it till January, all this will just be like a distraction. Like none of these problems will be solved. And then by the time the president comes in, he's going to have even worse issues and even more stuff to deal with. So I think it's best just to call the election as soon as possible. Busquets knows that the club don't want to negotiate with him, but he's still refusing to call them earlier, which is quite confusing to me.
Yeah. The thing is that Carlos Busquets is related to the old administration of Núñez. and Nunez is related to Rosell and Bartomeu, and he is there only to buy time. It's the only reason for him to wait so long until the elections will arrive. There is no other logical explanation for this elections going so further until the end of January. He needs to buy time in order to try to balance the books, and he does all he can. I mean, he signed new contracts with sponsors. He's trying to reduce the salary of the players, and I mean, I see this as a plot for the books to be as balanced as possible, so the next board will not be able to sue Bartomeu in the last board. And I think that this is shameful, and it's throwing the club under the bus. And it's not the first time that they do it. I mean, Rosell and Bartomeu already did it with the Neymar case a few years ago when they actually blamed the club for the negotiations that they did, and they made the club pay the fine for that. So I mean, it's not the first time that they do it. This is a very shameful era. I was there to see the Gaspart era and the Nunez era, and I mean, these are all methods of this old board, of these old people that are the old socios of Barça. I mean, you can see it in the way that they are making decisions. I mean, the fact that they say that they want to postpone the elections because of the COVID, but then again, they don't approve electronic votes. And the only reason that they do it is because the oldies, the old guys that read Mundo Deportivo and the Sport cannot vote electronically. So it will make them weaker, and it will make the younger socios a lot stronger. And those socios who live abroad, who can't reach Spain right now and can reach Catalonia right now because of the pandemic, they cannot vote. So there is no any logical explanation. Moving on to the next topic. After being pessimistic with the current situation of the club, let's talk about the Font Dream Team. Victor Font is actually building a dream team around him. There's no other way to say it. After Tony Nadal joined his team, now we know that Dr. Cugat, one of the best sports surgeons in the world, he will become a director in the Font administrations if and when he is elected to become the next president of Barça. So for me, it made me very optimistic about the fact that Victor Font actually has a chance to win these elections. And for me, who is the one who actually debating between Laporta and Victor Font, I have to say that I'm leaning towards Victor Font right now, although I still want to wait and see what Laporta will offer when he will announce his president candidacy in 1 week. So, Ethan, what did you think about this thing?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very good move. As you said, he is one of the greatest sporting doctors or surgeons in the whole world. But I didn't expect less, to be honest. There were already rumors that he was going to come into the team. I think especially with Barcelona, we've had a history of injuries. Dembele getting injured, Umtiti. So I think having one of the best doctors is vital, because he knows how to it's not only just like fixing a player if he's injured, but also like giving them advice on how to better themselves. So, for example, for Dembele, many years we saw that he didn't stick to a proper diet, or that he was continuously getting injured, and we were asking ourselves, why does this keep on happening? I think someone like Cugat, for example, can actually advise these players. And if he would have been in that administration under Bartomeu, I think maybe injuries wouldn't have been that repetitive to Dembele, and they would advise him, look, if you do this, this would happen, or if you do this, or if you have a proper diet. So I think that's very good. And as you said, Tony Nadal as well, he's a sporting psychologist. I think the team needs that as well, because I think the morale of the team is very low, and I think Tony Nadal would be one of the perfect candidates to that, to motivate the team, to get their morale higher. And I just think that these two additions to the board is very good, and hopefully, I really do hope that Victor Font wins, because if he doesn't win, it's a shame because we haven't even heard anything about Laporta's board. And if it's true that he is planning to actually join forces with Agusti Benedito, I think that would be terrible. That would be utter. That would be. Oh, I wouldn't really want that for the next board because I don't like Benedito, but we'll see, as you said.
Yeah. So, of course, the font project, he has been working on it for a long time. He obviously knows what he is doing. He's got people who are one of the best in their respective fields backing him up. So it is 100% my indication. My personal opinion is that right now 100% my vote would go towards Font. He also appears humble and acknowledges the club's mistakes, like making an agreement with Messi beforehand because he becomes a free agent soon. And most of all, he says that his dream team revolves mostly around La Masia players, which would be ideal considering our club's financial state at the moment. The only thing which makes me more excited than Font's dream team project right now is the expectation of what Laporta should have to offer in a week's time, because what Font is promising right now is really, really good. So I'm very intrigued to see what Laporta is going to offer in a week's time to seal his presidency.
Yeah, I mean, you have to see it like that. For Laporta, he is the main candidate, he is the favorite in the streets of Barcelona. For him, taking his time is logical. I mean, he already has a major of people who really love him and saying he did it once, he did it twice, he built two great teams around him, so he can do it again. So he has this around him, and people really remember this for him. And I mean, you can't take it from him. He was a great president, but he will have to announce what he's about to do, and in about a week he will announce it. So for me, I really want to know what he's about to offer. I really want to know what his team will look like. Moving on to the next topic, is it Riqui and Alena time? I mean, Riqui Puig, we all know that the unfair treatment of Koeman towards him, and Alena also almost never plays. But right now, with Busquets injured and with De Jong as maybe as the other center back while Pique is injured, we might right now see a proper solution, a proper chance for Alena and Riqui to shine, although both of them are not pivots in their natural position. So what do you think about it? Let's start with
De Jong out. I think Alena will be the second pivot alongside Pjanic. And Puig, I think he will. Koeman says that he lacks physicality and all that stuff. I know, although it is debatable, of course, and I myself don't agree with that statement. Considering Koeman's mindset, I don't think Puig will be starting. I think he will be subbed in against Dynamo Kyiv. But definitely, I think as we lack a second pivot, Alena might be the man Koeman looks up to.
I'm calling on Koeman to actually change system now, because I am not that technically. I don't know football. I watch football, and I know that some people watch football and they're very technically minded. So they look at the lineup, they look at what these players will do, they look at what a pivot is, because I don't really understand what a pivot is yet, because I'm not really that technical with football. I just like to watch football and like to see players doing their best. But I just hope that we can go to like a 4-3-3 system, because in that way you could have Pjanic playing and both maybe Puig and Alena in the same midfield, and we wouldn't have to see them like play naturally. Like you said, none of them are pivots. But unfortunately, I don't think Koeman is like that. I think he's going to stick to his 4-2-3-1 system, even though it's got many cracks already. But he's quite a stubborn manager. I don't think that he'll change. But yeah, I'm hoping to see Riqui play. I don't think he'll start. I agree with Stagnic on that. I don't think he'll start, but I really hope he plays. Like, if he doesn't play not even 1 minute, I definitely think that Koeman has an agenda against him, and he might as well just leave on loan in January and come back in June, because if he doesn't play when half the players are injured, just imagine when they're back. Like, no way in hell would he get a chance to start. So, but I'm really hoping that he plays tomorrow, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, I kind of get the fact that Alena and Riqui are not natural defensive midfielders. They're not. They don't have the defensive orientations that De Jong and Busquets have, for example. But Riqui and Alena playing in the Barca midfield, will have a consequence of Barca controlling the ball more, and Barca building from the midfield. Barca playing like Barca should play, like our DNA looks like. And I believe that both Riqui and Alena deserve proper chances. But I wouldn't be surprised if we will see Koeman start with Pjanic and Coutinho as double pivots. I mean, I would be very sorry if it will happen. I will be very upset if this will happen, but hopefully we will see Alena playing and Riqui also. Although I am sure, I agree with Sagnik and you, Ethan, that Alena has more chances of starting alongside Pjanic, and maybe we'll see Riqui as a substitute. Also, although I will be really surprised I think that playing in a 4-3-3 formation should be one of the solutions, and the game against Dynamo Kyiv is a good option to change the formation a little bit and play in a 4-3-3 formation. I really hope that Koeman will not be that stubborn, and we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But hopefully we will see Riqui and Alena playing together, or not together, but playing against Dynamo Kyiv. But in the long term, I think that if not both of them, one of them should leave on loan in January, because I don't see either of them getting proper minutes in this season under Koeman. I mean, but you never know. So what do you think? Should he leave on loan?
I don't know, because depends, because this could be a good game where either Riqui or Alena can show Koeman why they should be playing more frequently. And who knows, if they do a very good game and they keep up.
Okay, with the buzzer. Moving on to the next topic. Frankie de Jong and Leo Messi gonna rest against Dynamo Kyiv. Both of them play almost every game, and against Dynamo Kyiv they will both get the rest that they need. But I mean, would you rest both of them together? Would you even not send them in the squad list? Won't even fly them to Kiev? I mean, it's a bit risky in my opinion, because Juventus is only 3 points behind us. So I really hope that we will not regret it. We already saw that Dynamo Kyiv is a tough team, and I really hope that we will shine without them. Although I do get the idea that they both need rest, because this schedule is killing all players, and it's not an issue to be solved in this particular match. But I think that all the injuries that we see around the world, players like Van Dijk and Pique injuring themselves into long-term injuries, it's all part of the problem that they are playing too many games. So De Jong and Messi out, is this a good solution?
Yeah,
is this
Koeman's
a good
mind
thing?
is something
Sagnik, what do you
that
think?
mostly defies logic. I mean, of course, his argument is somewhat valid that we're at a quote-unquote comfortable situation in the UCL, so that's why he rested De Jong and Messi, because of the tight international schedule, he thought that they should be rested, otherwise they might injure themselves. However, I don't see where this overconfidence is coming from. I mean, even if you do not intend to start with them or play them at all, I think that it would have been a wiser decision to at least keep them on the field, even as subs. Also, I mean, they do need rest, And what I took from this decision is that Jong and Messi are probably the only constants in Koeman's plans for Barcelona.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know. Let's see. Would it be risky? I don't know. Koeman has said it in the press conference. He said, "Look, we're quite comfortable in the Champions League. I think it's a good time to rest De Jong and Messi." I could see him resting one, but both is a bit confusing to me because they're virtually two very important players for the team. So I think maybe if Messi would have been rested, or if De Jong would have been rested, it would have been better. But like in terms of like one each, not both together. But I don't know. Like we saw Dynamo versus Barça, and they had 11 of their players missing, and they still gave us a very hard game. We couldn't even put them to bed early on. And now their actual proper starting 11 will start with us, and we don't have our best players. And especially we're playing in Russia. No, sorry, in Ukraine, not Russia, sorry. Which is a different climate. It's quite far away, and we're not used to playing that. So I think, I'm not going to lie, I could potentially see Barcelona losing tomorrow because, yeah, I don't think it's a smart. I think it's a smart decision, maybe resting one, but both of them in a time of need when we need them mostly because half our players are injured. I don't know if it's that smart of a decision, but I guess we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, I understand the need to rest them, but I agree that playing in a different climate in Ukraine is going to be tough. And we also saw it. We saw that they are tough when they were behind in the Camp Nou with less 13 players, and most of these players are back right now because they had COVID and they came back from that. So I think that it will be a tough match. We will talk about it in the next topic. So, I wouldn't. I do get the idea of resting them. I wouldn't rest both of them together. I mean, I get that Koeman thinks that this is a good opportunity to rest De Jong, as the injuries won't allow Koeman to rest him in the next, I think, 15 matches, because he doesn't have the privilege to do that. But right now, I think that I wouldn't rest both of them. I hope that we will not regret it against Dynamo Kyiv, but we will have to be optimistic about it, and let's hope for the best. So we hit the buzzer. We're moving on to the starting lineup versus Dynamo Kyiv. This is the topic that we started to talk about in the last one, but heading back to the chalking board, we would like to talk about what will happen in this game versus Dynamo Kyiv.
Yes, so first off, I'm going to say, I want to make it clear that I'm going to try to predict the lineup, because what I want personally is a 4-3-3 or a 4-4-2, and not what Koeman is probably going to play the next match. And if I go into my hypothesis, we're going to be talking for an hour or two. So anyway, I think that in the next match, obviously, stubborn Koeman is going to play with a 4-2-3-1. Of course, in the defense, we're going to have the Barça B defender, because we have no other choice right now. Jordi Alba, Dest, and Longley, of course. The pivot, I think, is going to be Pique and Alena. And in the front three, Dembele on the right wing, Puig or Coutinho probably just behind Griezmann, and Pedri on the left wing, with Griezmann as a centre forward who is going to be subbed off with Braithwaite later in the match. I think that's the direction we're going in.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we should have like a 4-3-3, as I said before. Potentially with both Puig and Alena starting, but I don't know. Let's see. I think Koeman will be a bit, as I said before, he'll be a bit too stubborn, and I think he'll stick with a 4-2-3-1. Let's see how we play. Most of our players are injured, and yeah, that's pretty. I think I've discussed it before. What I want as an attack, I'd want Dembele on the right and Trincao on the left. So, Trincao on the right and Dembele on the left, even though it's not Dembele's strong position, but we will see. And let's see, hopefully we can clutch a victory.
Yeah, I hope so too. For me, I would play with. I mean, we don't have really other options in the defense. It will be Ter Stegen and Serginho Dest, Mingueza, and Lenglet center backs. Jordi Alba will be the left back because Firpo is not really an option. So in the midfield, I think that we won't see 4-3-3. It's not a very. It's not. I wouldn't gamble it. Let's say. But although I will be happy to be surprised, so I think the double pivot will be Alena and Pjanic. The three attacking midfielders will be Dembele. I think, sadly, Coutinho and Pedri as the left attacking midfielder. Although I would gladly see Conrad there, but I think that he will use Pedri there, and Griezmann as the center forward, subbed off with Braithwaite, because this is what how did Valverde say, it is what it is, this is what we have in our attack. So let's hope for the best, because I don't see us having an easy task there, but I will be happy to see us score goals, and I will be also happy to be mistaken and see Koeman starting this game with the 4-3-3 solution formation. So it will be a good solution for a game tomorrow, but I don't see this happening. Hopefully I will be mistaken. But do you think that Trincao, would you prefer Trincao as the right wing?
Yeah,
or
definitely
Pedri
Trincao as the left
wing?
winger and Dembele as...
Sagnik.
Sorry, definitely Trincao as the right winger and Dembele as the left.
Yeah, definitely, I agree 100%. Trincao's natural position is the right wing, and he'd do much better. Although he's not that pacey, he's still got the technicality and the skill to score matches, to score goals, and to make good runs and carry the ball forward. So definitely, I'd run Trincao rather on the right than Pedri on the left.
Yeah, and especially with Jordi Alba weakening right now, I think with Pedri out of his comfortable position, we are just too weak on the left wing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of hard, because I don't think that Trincao really did anything to earn him the starting position. But it's just me. I'm having issues with him, but hopefully he will prove me wrong very, very soon. So far, I didn't do it, but I really hope that he will do it. Maybe if he will start against Dynamo Kyiv, he will be able to shine. I really hope that he will. So let's hope for the best. And we hit the buzzer. Moving on to the next topic, the match predictions. And as for me, I would really hope for the best. I think that it won't be an easy task. We saw it in the Camp Nou when we had a tough time against Dynamo Kyiv. So for me, I think that it will be a tough match. I think that we will win the match, but in a small margin. I think I will go with a 2-1 victory.
To clutch a victory.
What do you think, Ethan?
Resting both Messi and Jong, Dynamo Kyiv starting with their full lineup, and playing in Ukraine and away, I think we might get a bit comfortable and they might catch us off. So I reckon we could lose, but hopefully we can win. But you never know with the Barcelona. Every time I predict they win, they lose, and every time I predict they lose, they win. So hopefully they can win tomorrow.
Yes, of course. Last time Kyiv, as a very weak team, lacking in their players, most of them out with COVID, played really well against Barca. They even cut through the defense clean once and scored a goal. And I would be a little more comforted if one of our goals were open play, but obviously one of them was a penalty taken by Messi and the other was a corner. But of course, this time we're gonna have a very different starting 11, and no De Jong as center back, so things could be different. But then again, it's not on our home turf. Firstly, secondly, we have some players out. I think definitely with the players we have, we could win. We should win, but we're not being able to just finish the chances we create. But it's gonna be an interesting match to watch. provided that we play properly and we don't make any critical judging mistakes, like critical decision errors, I think we should have a somewhat comfortable win, like 2-0.
All right. So we're done with this topic, and we will move along to the final words, the 1-minute monologue that every one of us will have. I will start first, and we want to talk about the upcoming elections, because I don't really have an idea. I didn't decide entirely for 100% if I'm going with Laporta or with Victor Font, but I wanted to use the age difference, and I wanted to remind everyone that 17 years ago, in 2003, when Joan Gaspar resigned as the president of Barça, there was a big favorite in the elections, and it wasn't Joan Laporta. Joan Laporta was a young and he was very, very famous as an opposition to the Nunez administration, but he was not the favorite. The favorite was a person called Luis Bassat, who was the favorite to win because he's vice president in the elections. His vice president for his board was Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola was still a playing player, but in these elections, Luis Bassat promised to bring him as the vice president of the team. So back then, he was the favorite to win, and Laporta promised Beckham and promised to bring David Beckham to the team, which he later on didn't do because David Beckham preferred to move to Real Madrid, the Galacticos Real Madrid, and then because of this mistake, we brought Ronaldinho, and the history changed. But what I'm trying to say is that for right now, Laporta is the favorite, the main favorite to win these elections. But as we see, the board that Victor Font is forming right now, and the dream team that he's building around him right now, he still has a proper chance to win these elections, and we will have to wait and see what will happen.
Okay, so basically my topic will be on Messi.
Now we will move along to Ethan.
Surrounding Messi right now, there's a bit of a divide in the fan base. There's still many people who are adamant that he won't leave, and there's people who are adamant he will leave. Unfortunately, I am on the latter side. I think Messi will leave. I think his comments, even though he had a 15-hour flight and he was tired and he was held in the airport for 1 hour, we all know that Messi doesn't really speak on clubs matters. He's been a very quiet character, very shy character in the last few years. But now, this year, he's been one of the most vocal characters, and the fact that he's been very vocal shows his unhappiness. Like, normally he would just keep quiet and carry on playing football. But the fact that he said that I'm the problem in the club, the fact that each game I just don't see him motivated like against Atletico Madrid, like as many people can agree, but I personally believe he's not happy. He looked down, he didn't look motivated, he's not playing how he used to be. I think there's a deeper issue under it all. And yeah, I think personally in June he's gonna go. As I said, I've already said this twice. I think there's two factors. One, he wants an immediate project, and he wants immediate success, and I think with City you can get that, because City right now have a better team than Barcelona. They've got the players that can win them the Champions League, and Barcelona, even if we have a project next year, it's looking we probably won't win the Champions League either, or the year after. It's going to take a while. Same as Laporta, it took a while for us to become the team that we were. It took him like 5 years. Well, 3. He won the first Champions League, but to build the greatest team in the world took 5 years. And the second reason is the Guardiola factor. I think the fact that he extended his contract was because he was promised that Messi would come to City. That I think what kept Guardiola there. Even though Guardiola says, I want Messi to stay in Barcelona, I think he's just saying that because he doesn't want to be made the villain by the media. So yeah, let's just see. I just don't see Messi happy, and I think, unfortunately, even though I don't want him to go, I think he will leave.
Yeah, so my topic is why Ronald Koeman, the highest ever paid boss of Everton, got sacked just 9 games into the Premier League. So people might say that Everton is a very strict club, where their motto translates to nothing but the best is good enough, but there is a reason why Koeman got sacked so early. the last time a manager got sacked so early in their club was 23 years ago. It was Mike Walker due to his disastrous 35-match reign. So why did he get sacked? Number one, when he was recruited in the club, he promised that he would fix all mistakes. But as soon as he was sacked, his quote went viral after his defeat by Arsenal that he never really understood the club. Furthermore, the thing for which he was most hated on was his disastrous decision making, which if you see where I'm going with this, is something we've seen in Barcelona. He spent £140 million in bad signings, and even more important was the player he didn't sign, which was Romelu Lukaku. Yes, because by the end of the season, literally everyone knew who he was. Definitely they could have signed someone else. And what strikes me the most is that he went into the season without the 25 goal guarantee in Lukaku and replaced him with a raw Spanish under-21 Sandro Ramirez and the promising England under-20 Dominic Calvert. And he honestly placed too much responsibility on young shoulders. So definitely with these facts, I wanted to point out that you guys are seeing the similarities, right? I mean, you can call it stubbornness, but what I mean to say in this that Ronald Koeman may be just, how do I say this, just bad in decision making. He's stubborn, okay, but he succeeded in the Dutch national teams because there were a lot of things in his favor. And I think that one definitely has to be more dynamic. One needs to shape the club into what it's supposed to be, not mold the club into what you want it to be. You want double pivot. That doesn't mean that the Barcelona squad right now needs the double pivot. As soon as he came in the club, the first thing he said was the 4-2-3-1 is perfect because we don't have natural wingers. We don't have natural wingers, really. I mean, it's a literal factual error. And ever since then, I have been skeptical of Ronald Koeman. And I really don't want to be that person who just hates on the manager when things go wrong, because that's really cliche. But here it is. I just pointed out his history to you, and history repeats itself. And these are cold hard evidences which people should know. So with these facts, I stated I really want each and every one of you to think about what I said, and just hope that Barcelona doesn't become the Everton too.
Yeah. Okay. This was very tough. This is very. I mean, it's alarming what you're saying. So I think it's a good way to sum up to conclude our talk here, and to conclude this episode. I would like to thank both of you, Ethan and Sagnik, for this great talk. We covered a lot of topics. We will hope to win the match against Dynamo Kyiv, and hopefully we will meet here in the next episode a lot more happy and a lot more relaxed. So yeah. So thank you guys very much, and please, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and like this video, and also comment your questions in the comment section below, and we will answer them in the new Q&A segment in the next episode. So guys, thank you, and we will meet you all in the next episode.
Yeah, signing out. Forza Barça.
Have a great evening, and Visca Barça.